The advice and opinions expressed by the host of Autism Live and her guests are meant solely as suggestion and should not be in any way construed as child-specific advice. The Center for Autism and Related Disorders advises working with a board-certified behavior analyst who has experience with autism before starting any intensive behavioral intervention. Any choices you make in determining your child's treatment are completely at your own discretion.
Good morning and welcome to Autism Live. I'm Shannon Penrod and we are webcasting to you live from the Warner Center in Woodland Hills, California, Tower 1 in fact. This is the new home for the Center for Autism and Related Disorders headquarters, and it is also the new home for Autism Live. We're thrilled to be joining you. We've been off the air now for a little over a week, but we're back and delighted to be here with you. I'm going to be with you for the next 2 hours live talking about autism from a 360-degree perspective. And we've got some amazing guests. You know, when you give us a little bit of time off, and part of this time that we've had off was time that we gave off for Kelby, and Kelby's back manning the helm. But I had some time here, and let me just tell you, I used the time really well. We have some amazing guests coming up for you in the next couple of months. I'm excited to share, and especially today and this week. It's a big, big lineup. If you didn't get the postcard, the viewing postcard that told you who is on this week, it's because you're not signed up for our free email list. So let's start out with Kelby showing you some different ways that you can be watching the show. And while he's doing that, I'm going to remind you to go to our homepage, which is autism-live.com. And when you go there to watch the show, I want you to start by going up to the upper left-hand corner and click on the link that says join our email, get our free newsletter. When you do that, you not only get the free newsletter, but you also get the weekly viewer guide, and then you would know who we are having on the show this week. That's so amazing. So check that out. Also on that homepage, there are many other things that you can do. I want you to check out the blog. There's a new blog up there giving you some ideas for some healthy, tasty, yummy recipes that are patriotic and fun for this weekend. Red, white, and blue, but no sugar and no artificial colors or flavors. I know it's crazy, but they're good and they're kid-friendly. So check those out. In fact, we're going to be talking about those recipes tomorrow on Let's Talk Autism with Shannon and Nancy. But also when you're on that homepage, you can be watching the live show. There is a desktop, and on the computer screen, if you click on the triangle that's there, you can either watch the live show or the most recently recorded live show. Now, if you'd like to see other shows, there is a playlist icon up in the upper left-hand corner of the screen. You can click on that, and you can look through the most recent 100 shows that we've done. All right, now to the side of all that, there's a series of white boxes, and this is where it gets really exciting because we call this the live feature. If you put your cursor in the box that says your questions, start typing, hit enter, and it shows up here on my screen. So that way you and I can be having a conversation. And what's even more fun than that is that you can be having a conversation with one of the experts or guests that we have here on the show. So we hope that you'll participate in that. We really love it when you write in, especially when it's live. We want to remind you that it's totally free. You don't have to log in. There's no username. Nobody gets to know who you are. In fact, we appreciate it if you tell us what the closest major city is so that we have an idea of where you are, especially if you're writing in and asking a question that has anything to do with resources. Because we'll have no idea what's available for you in your area unless we know what the biggest major city is. I can't get it to log me in to save my life, but I will be able to do that, and then I'll be able to check. There we go. It worked. Also wanted to let you know that we have a lot of experts that are on a show, a lot of different guests with different experiences here in the autism community. We want to remind you that, first of all, no one can give individual specific advice, right? Not in this format. That would be a disservice to our members of the autism community to even think that anybody could give individual specific advice. And I also want to remind you that while I chair the helm here, I am not one of the experts in autism. I just want to remind you that my place here is that I'm a mom, a proud autism mom. My son is 12 years old. That's a new thing for me to be saying. Diagnosed with autism at the age of 2.5. We've come a long way, baby. We still have a ways to go, but we've come a long way, and it's because we had other people who held our hands, gave us good information, and we followed through on that. And I think that those are three things that are really important. So I want to help you with two of those things. I want to hold your hand, because if we all hold hands together in this, we can do it, right? Si se puede. You are not alone. This is our new tag phrase. We're going to talk a little bit later on about Stephanie's Day. And what I walked away with Stephanie's Day is that none of us are alone, right? But I want to caution you, and I want to help you to get to the resources so that you can then take the initiative to get the help and the progress that you want, whether you're a parent, a teacher, a practitioner, or you yourself or the person on the spectrum. We just want to help you to get what's appropriate for you. But I always like to remind you at the start of the show that we have many experts. I am not one of them, right? I have opinions. That is different than being an expert, right? All right, speaking of that, we like to start the show every morning with something we fondly refer to as the jargon of the day. This is when we take on one word, one phrase, one acronym. We try to figure out just what in the heck are they talking about when they bring these things up. And more importantly, what does it have to do with the progress that I am seeking? How can this help me? I want to know. So our jargon term for today, and this is one that I specifically wanted because a couple of weeks ago I tripped up on what it actually stood for. So we're going back over it, right? Okay, DTT. Now this is not DDT. This is not a bug spray, right? That's where my head goes. So when people are talking about DTT, perhaps as a teaching tool, and you're going, what is that again? Okay, DTT, our actual definition, it stands for discrete trial teaching or training. It focuses on a single cycle of a behaviorally based instruction routine. And ladies and gentlemen, this is why we do jargon of the day, because I don't know what that means. Even now, so many years later, what you say? What you talking about, Willis? All right, let's look at our working definition. DTT, teaching one targeted behavior at a time. Okay, DTT is a really effective way of teaching something when you're having difficulty learning it, when the learner is having a hard time grasping it, because what it does is it pares it down into one tiny little moment at a time. And it isolates that moment and allows you to teach it in a very clean way in which something happens, the targeted behavior is done, and then there is reinforcement immediately. We know that this is a very effective way of beginning to teach something. And when you see all the videotapes of kids who are sitting at a table and the person is saying, touch this, do this, that is DTT. It's a very pure moment. It looks weird. It looks foreign. It looks like nothing from real life. And for a lot of us, I'm a former teacher, but a lot of us, the parent in me looks at it and goes, that's not going to help. That's not going to be useful, except that it is. If it is step one of a multi-step process. And I think that's the thing that's really important to remember, that when you see kids sitting at a table and somebody puts down a card and says, touch car, and the child touches the car and they go, good job. And then they go, they move the cards around and they go, touch car. And the child touches it again. All of us go, oh, it's like an allergic reaction, right? That's not what I want for my child with autism. Except that you're seeing steps 1 through 7. You're not seeing 7 through 358, which get you to the point where your child goes, hey, can I have the car keys? Right? And I'm serious that is, the progression over a series of years. So I want you to know what DTT is, but I want you to know how effective it is at beginning to teach something. If you think about in your life right now, is there something that you would really like to do that maybe you tried to learn how to do and you couldn't do it? I mean, immediately what comes to mind is that I'm trying to learn how to play the guitar, and it's really difficult for me. And I'm kind of mad at myself that there were several other times in my life that I wanted to learn to play the guitar and I started. Now, I'm not alone, right? There are many people who said, oh yes, I want to learn how to play the guitar, or I want to learn Spanish, or I want to, fill in the blank. What is it? I want to learn how to knit. What is it that we abandon along the way? And part of the reason why we abandoned it along the way was we couldn't get good enough at it in order to get a reward to hang in there through the tough part, right? Well, that's true for a lot of our individuals who are on the autism spectrum. Maybe the skill is learning how to have a conversation, and it's really difficult for them. What DTT does is it pares it down to one little moment, allows you to get good at it, and allows you to get a reinforcer for it before you move on to the next step. Let's be honest, if every time I played a G chord, somebody gave me a spoonful of butter pecan ice cream, I probably would have hung in when I was 7 years old. I probably would hang in now, right? Now, for DTT, what we're doing, it's not butter pecan ice cream. We're finding something, it might be tickles. It might be an edible that we're doing to encourage the individual to hang in there through the tough stuff. And we're building up this rapport of, you can do this. This is not hard. And when you do it, it's rewarding. It's very, very effective. I swear to you as a teacher, if there's ever something that you see as difficult for somebody to learn, if you pare it down and create a DTT model in which you start the lesson, you will be able to move quickly into other things, which we'll talk about a little bit later on in the week. But DTT, discrete trial, training or teaching, it is very effective at beginning to teach any skill. Very effective, but don't think it's the entire process. That's all I beg of you. But don't be afraid of DTT with our kids either, because it is amazing. If you have a child who's having difficulty learning something, definitely give it a try. All right, moving on. And by the way, ABA has DTT, but it is not all-encompassing. ABA involves so many other teaching techniques. All right, we always have a question of the day for you. And our question for you today, is there a teacher who made a difference in your life? Now, already I'm going to well up because I think about all the teachers in my life that have made a difference. But I got to be honest, I think about the teachers who have made a difference in Jem's life. And one in particular that I want to give a shout out to, because she just recently retired. I think she's in like week 2 of her retirement. A fabulous kindergarten teacher, Kathy DeCellis. I don't know that we would be where we are if we hadn't had her as a kindergarten teacher. You know, that kind of teacher who they're going to give their all no matter what. They're going to love every kid who comes through the door. They're going to make a difference with every single kid. I will tell you. And in the beginning, when they first introduced me to this kindergarten teacher, I was like, oh, I don't know. I don't know if this is the person that we need to get this kindergarten thing done. Oh my gosh. She was amazing. I'm going to be grateful for the rest of my life for her as a teacher. She loved my child unconditionally. She saw what he could do. She didn't completely ignore the things that he was having trouble with, but she believed with her whole being that he was going to get there, that he could do it, that he was going to be there when he needed to be there. And I will tell you that faith that she had in him, it was something that spread through the classroom, it spread through our family, it spread through the school. It was amazing. And it wasn't just him. She was like that with every single kid. What a service she was to kindergartners everywhere. I'm sad that she retired for our kids, but I'm thrilled for her and wish her a wonderful retirement. But we want to hear from you guys. Who's a teacher who's made a difference in your life, in your child's life? Write it on Facebook and give them a shout out. Tell them how amazing they were and they are. It'll make them feel good. Teaching is a tough, tough job, and the ones who do it well, they need that reinforcement. Okay, we also have a topic of the week. Our topic for you this week is having a passion for learning. People ask me all the time what I think are the qualities of a good teacher. And one of the first things that I look for in a teacher is, are they still passionate about learning? Because if you're not passionate about learning, you're not going to be able to teach. Do you get excited when you learn something new? For me, it depends. I got to be honest with you. When we started this journey into autism, and there were all these jargon terms that I thought, I don't want to know these. I was in anger. I was not happy about it. I said, I don't want to have to go back and get another master's degree in something else. Just help my kid, help me help my kid, but I don't really want to learn about it. And of course, that didn't serve me well. And now I can tell you honestly, I have a passion for learning about autism, but it's because I saw the reinforcement at the end of the tunnel. I saw that if I learned things, that then I was a better parent, and more importantly, that if I learned things, that my son made more progress. And that's a lesson for all of us, that if it's not rewarding, why would we want to do it, right? So let's see if we can make it rewarding for us so that we can make it rewarding for them, a passion for learning. Now, some of the things that we have in store for you today, I'm really excited about today. Our very first guest that we're going to be joined by via Skype in a few moments, Rebecca Fry. She's joining us. She's a former teacher. Love that. She's joining us to talk about the Shawnee Little Theater, how she has seen drama and acting really benefit individuals who are on the autism spectrum. She's not only a former teacher and somebody who works very closely with the Shawnee Little Theater, but she is also a parent. So I don't think we're going to get any better news than that, any better point of view. We've got some autism news for you. Some of it we're going to cover lightly because we're covering it more extensively tomorrow, and I hope that you'll stay tuned tomorrow on Let's Talk Autism with Shannon and Nancy, where we'll take on some of these stories in depth. And then in the second hour today, also very excited that we're going to be joined, and I'm going to slaughter her name, heaven forgive me, Robin Hogerhuis, and she's going to tell me how to say it properly. She's an inclusion specialist, so don't you want to talk to her? Very involved with Fullerton Cares, and her very specific area of expertise is working with dance. She is very involved with Everybody Dance Now, an organization that I want you to know about. And so Robin is going to be here. I also understand that she's a huge KISS fan. So we're going to talk with her a little bit about that too, because I love to know what people are passionate about, right? We all need to be passionate about a wide variety of things, or at least a couple of things, right? So we're going to be talking with her about that. We're also going to give you an update on some of the guests that we have coming up in the next month. It's mind-boggling. I'm very excited. So all of that and ever so much more coming up today, but we're going to take a break first, and then when we come back, Rebecca Fry from the Shawnee Little Theater is going to join us. Stick with us.
You say howdy, we say hi. Let's get rowdy, let's get wild. Let's get wild. Let's get wild. Let's get wild. Let's get wild.
Hey, welcome back to Autism Live. We heard you. Everybody wants
macaroni and cheese.
Yeah, but we're gonna make it allergy free. But here's what's the crazy part of this macaroni and cheese. It's actually healthy.
And it tastes good.
Yeah, it tastes really good.
That's the most important part.
So we're gonna start, we got our water boiling. There's so many variations on the pasta. We're using today a corn pasta. We can verify with the manufacturer that we have a GMO-free product. So let's go ahead and put that in there.
Ooh,
And if you don't mind, stir that up for
Sure.
me, my friend.
Now it's sticking a little bit to the bottom.
Yeah.
Is that okay?
We maybe add a little more high heat oil and spread that around again. One thing you gotta know about gluten-free pasta, if you overcook this, it becomes mush. Let's move this guy over to the other burner so you can see what I'm doing. And now we're gonna start with the old macaroni and cheese sauce. What's great is there's a lot of choices for, you know, different soups. And the way that I look at soups, and again, please follow the recipe on your screen right now. I don't like to measure very often, but what I like to use is a creamy butternut squash soup. So this soup is great because it adds a lot of flavor to the dish, but also gives people another serving of vegetables. With kids, we don't want to over season. Maybe with the adults, we can season some for the kids first, pull it out, serve them, and then add a little more, you know, garlic powder or onion powder or other types of things into your dish. So the next most important thing on this recipe is we're going to add in a thickener and the faux cheese. Now some people like their sauce really thick, so you just add in more cornstarch or more arrowroot, so that's not a big deal. How's that doing? You think it's ready?
I think it's done.
Okay, so why don't we switch? I'll take
Okay.
that, you do that.
Okay.
And I'm going to strain this bad boy here. Here, let me turn that off,
Okay.
or we're going to cause trouble again.
Trouble in Lisa's kitchen.
No,
That's another show.
don't, yeah, right? So I'm going to go ahead, get this all strained. It's a good consistency. So I'm going to check to make sure our pasta is cooked. So really you just want to make sure, just like any pasta, it's a little bit squeezy, a little bit. Nice. Dude, good job. We're
Yay.
good.
Looks yummy.
So even though the cheese is not totally melted, it's okay, don't panic. What's important is that you're gonna love this recipe once you eat it. What I enjoy most about this recipe is that it smells good, but this stuff
perfect.
is amazing. So if you don't mind, I'm going to serve you some up, and you can maybe blow a little bit on it so you don't burn your mouth. Sorry, I'm once a mom,
I
always
was
a
like,
mom.
just like we tell our kids.
I know, right?
But I can't wait. I'm excited.
So I'm gonna give a shot of this too, but
Oh my gosh, that is so
this is the ultimate comfort food. So
Oh, it's so
Isn't
good.
it good?
And I'm not just saying that. It is really good. It literally tastes like something our kids would really like. And that sweetness is really, really, really good.
So the bonus for us is that when we're serving this to our kids, they're actually getting a full serving of vegetables in this. So instead of just eating a bunch of carbs and worthless calories, you're actually getting some good stuff in this. And we'll be back next time. I hope you join us again here on Autism Live. We're really loving the feedback, and if you have additional feedback, here's how you get it to us. You can send it to us via email at autismlive@gmail.com. On Facebook, facebook.com/autismlive. And also there's thousands of recipes waiting for you to discover them with pictures and different things on the TACA website. So you can hit TACA on the web, tacanow.org, and we'll be back. Hopefully we'll get to do this again.
I had so much
Maybe
fun.
we'll have a little wine, but you got to join us next time. We'll look forward to seeing you then.
Bye, guys. We're going to keep eating.
You say howdy, we say hi. Let's get rowdy, let's get wild. Let's get wild.
Welcome back to Autism Live. I'm very excited because we have joining us via Skype for the first time from Oklahoma, from wonderful, we're not actually at the Shawnee Little Theater, but she's going to talk to us about the Shawnee Little Theater. Rebecca Fry is joining us. Rebecca, welcome to the program.
It's great to be here.
We're thrilled to have you. We had you a very good recommendation from a wonderful viewer that we have who happens to be related to Mr. Kelby Wood, our fabulous producer. So we want to give a shout out to Sue for letting us know about you and about what you do. But Rebecca, the more I've known about you, the more I've been thrilled that you're going to be here talking with us. Let's start first with talking about the Shawnee Little Theater. Tell us where it is and how we can find out more information about it.
Well, we are a community theater, totally volunteer. No one is paid for any type of the plays or productions that we put on. I'm currently the president, which means that I do everything from work in the box office to direct to being on stage to making sure the plumber shows up to fix the bathroom. So that's kind of how we are. It's all hands on deck at Shawnee Little Theater. We've been around for 47 years. And we do 4 shows a season, sometimes with a season extra. So we're very proud of our productions. Really, it makes our community, I think, a better place. We're about 45 miles from Oklahoma City, so we do get a little bit of people coming from Oklahoma City, and a lot of the surrounding communities come to see our shows. And we're just happy to be there. We do have a website, ShawneeLittleTheater.com, and we also have a Facebook page.
And
Shawnee Little Theater.
you've got a show that's opening in just a couple of weeks, correct?
Right, yes, in 3 weeks, well, a little less than 3 weeks now, we're doing a kids camp, Jungle Book, kids version of the Jungle Book with 40 children from ages 6 to 12. And I'm directing that, and I've surrounded myself with some really good people. So we're really excited about that, to have all the kids involved for the summer camp.
And people who know me know that I love theaters, and I love community theater, and I love summer theater programs. And that would be enough for me to invite you to be on the show. But there is an autism tie-in here. Hence, this is right on Autism Live. So talk to us a little bit about how Shawnee Little Theater is inclusive.
We open auditions to everyone, and we just invite everyone to come to auditions and try out to be in the plays. And we are pretty autism friendly, a lot because of I am there and I'm encouraging it. The last camp we had, we did have some children on the spectrum. One little guy in particular, we did Willy Wonka, and he was an Oompa Loompa. And we had a little trouble with the green wig, so we worked through it all, and by the time the show started, he was wearing the green wig and proud of it. And we welcomed him. We loved having him in the show. We also recently did a show, a production of Christmas Story, and we had a young child in it on the spectrum as well. And my son has been in a production. In fact, he played the lead in a production that we had Tom Sargent had a great and he is on the spectrum as well. So we're very.
And you are a former teacher, which we're going to talk about more in the second segment, but I want people to hear it from you, Rebecca, about why you think, what you have seen drama do for individuals who are on the spectrum, and why you think this is so important to include in their program.
Everybody involved, if they can be in a dramatic situation, and then I don't mean drama, but on the stage. And I mean this from very.
Oops, we're losing your audio. You know what? Unfortunately, Rebecca, we're going to stop and take a short break, and then we're going to come back because we're losing your audio just a little bit. So stick with us.
What is autism?
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 I've been asking myself that for a very, very long time.
Let me think about that one.
Trying to, just,
Jeez. Let me think. Oh man, that's a rough one. Yes.
Autism,
Autism is a neurological disorder that affects many of our kids in different ways.
It's a learning disability that affects the cognitive functions of the brain.
A lot of people have the misconception that it's a disability, and it's really not.
I look at it as like a special gift.
When one person thinks differently from another.
It's an opportunity for everyone to learn to understand someone that's a little different than them. Autism is the ability to educate.
They're given so much talent in different areas.
To me, autism means a chance to be with and be around people you really care about. Autism is beautiful.
It's a way of seeing the world differently.
It's always unique, totally intelligent, and sometimes mysterious.
Happiness that comes out of my son's hard work.
It's a movement.
Unpredictable.
That's right.
Awesome. Love. The field I want to work in.
Laughter, fun, joy. Autism is beautiful to me.
I want you to remember these three words. There is hope.
The Institute for Behavioral Training provides courses in applied behavior analysis for the treatment of autism. Access IBT e-learning videos on the move and learn at your own pace.
I'm going to talk a little bit about intensity.
IBT e-learning makes any location your classroom on the go.
So our objectives for today are to really learn what is autism and how is it diagnosed.
Get professional guidance with IBT face-to-face training. IBT face-to-face training courses prepare you to effectively implement ABA-based interventions. Choose between small group and one-to-one instruction. Earn BCBA supervision hours via one-to-one video conferencing.
So I had a chance to review your VIP today. You know what? It looked really good. You did a good job with it.
IBT continuing education courses. Earn credit through webinars, conferences, article reviews, and e-learning videos. You can learn more at ibehavioraltraining.com. IBT, 360 degrees of ABA training.
Welcome back to Autism Live. We had a little bit of technical difficulty, but we have Rebecca Fry from Shawnee Little Theater back with us via Skype. We're very grateful to Skype. And Rebecca, we were just asking you that you're a former teacher, you are a mom of a son who is on the autism spectrum, and we were asking for your professional opinion about what drama and acting can do for an individual who is on the autism spectrum and why you think this is so important to include. And we lost you, so we're dying to hear your answer.
Okay, well, hopefully we can stay with us this time. I am an advocate of drama in the classroom. I've seen it work so many times, especially from the kindergarten level right up to the middle school where I taught. In the kindergarten level, even as simple as puppets in the classroom and role playing, it is amazing what you can see a child on the spectrum that will just light up and just become another character right in front of your eyes.
And I know that you were an amazing teacher, and that this is something that you have transferred to your experience with the Shawnee Little Theater, and I think that it's a gift to the entire community because you guys are so inclusive. Do you feel like that this affinity for the autism community came when you were a teacher, or does it have at least part to do with the fact that you have a son on the spectrum?
I think.
Did we lose her? Oh no, I was so waiting to hear her answer. She said, I think, and then it was over. I'm on the edge of my seat. We're gonna call her again. I'm gonna hang with you while we call her again. Because I'm dying to hear this answer. Was it suspenseful for you as it was for me? I do wanna, we're calling her. I do want to remind everybody, the Shawnee Little Theater, you can go to their website. I encourage you to patronize them. Go to see their shows. Let them know that you think that it's important that they are being so inclusive. It's a wonderful opportunity for everyone, not just for the individual who's on the spectrum, but for the other people in the cast to get an opportunity to work with somebody who's on the spectrum. It's a gift. It's a gift. We're waiting to see if we can get Rebecca back. They're there? I'm here. Okay. So Rebecca, when we last were speaking to you, I said, do you think that you have an affinity for the autism community because you were a teacher, or at least in part because you had a son who was on the spectrum? And you said, I think, and then we lost you.
I think that I've always been a champion for these children. But when my son was diagnosed and I saw the importance and how it was needed, that's when I became more, it was my cause more at that point.
And, you know, your son is, in a lot of ways, I think what a lot of us are striving for, that he is a young adult, he is employed, he is somebody who has played the lead in a show. If I had to ask you, you know, what are two things that you think contributed to him doing so well, what would you say?
Well, I think inside of him, he thinks he is a star. So, and I didn't discourage it. So, you know, we provided some opportunities for him to be able to, you know, shine a little bit. And it's taken some time. He always thought he should be the lead for a while. And now he's kind of realized that we have to share. So, you know, that's been a part of this process too, that we're not always the lead. We need to be in the ensemble at times, and we need to be not the leading man all the time. I think, I just think that there's a creativeness inside of these children that needs to come out. And his is just so ready on the stage. He wants to be on the stage. He also writes some as well. He's doing some writing right now. So he just has that creative flow that has to come out.
Wonderful. I'm wondering, so when he did Tom Sawyer and he played Tom, did you direct that show or did somebody else?
I did direct it, and it was kind of it was some drama. There was drama involved. It's a very upbeat, new version of Tom Sawyer with lots of music and things like that. I didn't really know he wanted to be in it because I didn't think that it was his style, but he showed up at auditions without me even knowing he was going to, and he did very well. And I agonized over it, thinking, can we both do this? And I talked to people, you know, my friends, and said, you know, do you think Bruce can do this? And of course they said, well, can he learn the lines? And I said, That's he can do that. He'll go home and read them 3 times and he'll have the lines. I mean, that's not a problem, you know. And we finally agonized over it, and I went back and forth, and I finally gave him the part. And he just lit up on stage. And people who knew him and said, well, I've never heard him say 5 words, they said, he's talking to me now. And when I see him, if I mention the play. So it was just such a positive experience for him.
Wonderful, wonderful. What do you think was the hardest part of the process of directing him and getting to performance?
Well, the hardest part was I had to learn not to tell him we would only be there for, you know, an hour and a half, or we might only go through scene 1 and 2. Because if I had to go into scene 3, he would look at me and say, you said we were only doing scene 1 and 2. And I'd say, okay, well, we have a little more time tonight. We need to work on this. He said, but you said. And I said, I know. So that was a little bit, costumes were a little bit tricky too. He had to tuck his shirt in, which is something he didn't like to do. And he had to wear some suspenders. But I knew not to make him go barefoot or wear a hat, because that was going to be pushing it. So we did have to kind of find some common ground in the middle to make this work.
Well, Rebecca, I'm so glad to know you. You're somebody that if we live closer, I would say we have to have lunch today. I'd love to.
Really?
You and I could be fast friends. I think it's remarkable what you're doing there. While we lost you, I was saying to everybody, make sure that you patronize this theater, buy tickets, go to see what they're doing. I've taken a look at what you're doing next season. You have a brilliant season in your 2015-2016 season. Do you want to, I know I saw Spam-A-Lot, which is hilarious.
Yes.
What else?
Yes. We have South Pacific, Cat on a Hot Tin Roof, and Vanya, Sonia, Masha, Spike, a new play. We're doing a Christmas show for teens in December, Charlie Brown Christmas, and then we'll end with Spam-A-Lot. And Bruce actually is going to be in South Pacific. He's playing one of the ensemble cast, so this is a big step for him too, to be in the ensemble. He wants to learn how to dance a little bit.
Well,
so,
being part of the whole, it's a great thing. And you know, people write into the show all the time and say, there's no social skills program where I'm at. What can I do to get my teenager, my young kid involved in something that's social? And my answer is always, what's the community theater doing?
Right, exactly. And sometimes they're may not be a part on stage at first. Maybe they can go and work backstage. Maybe there's somebody that would let them paint, or maybe they could seat people in their seats, because you know all they have to do is look at the tickets and know where the seating chart is. They'd be great at that. And that's a wonderful opportunity too, to get in the door, and it would be social, and they would make family type friends in the theater.
Absolutely.
Hanging around in the green room is a great thing, and it's a very accepting group usually.
Exactly. I was just thinking that theater people on the whole are a little bit more open, a little bit more accepting. That's a generality. You know, we're not going to say that about everybody, but I think in general, they're just a little bit more willing to look at somebody as an individual and not decide that they need to be like everybody else.
Exactly. It's kind of a family atmosphere, depending on the theater, like you said. But I know Bruce just hanging around in the green room, and people saying hi when he came in the door. You know, it was just a very, very good thing for his communication skills and social skills, and just confidence, a lot of confidence.
Well, and we know all the studies say that when you can find something in common with someone, that you're more likely to be friends, less likely to be bullied. And even if what you have in common is something that is just a show that you're working on right now, that creates something in common forever, because then you worked on that show together. It is a remarkable thing. Rebecca, we just adore you. Sue was right. You're wonderful. I think it's great what you're doing with the Shawnee Little Theater. Tell the website again so people can go and check it out.
ShawneeLittleTheater.com, and we also are on Facebook at Shawnee Little Theater.
Well, you've got to come back and be with us again sometime in your 2015-2016 season.
That would be great. Maybe we can get some video together maybe and show you back.
Awesome.
Some things on stage.
Well, and good luck with your camp this summer, and with everything that you're doing there. It's truly amazing.
Wonderful. It was so nice to meet you all.
Take care.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
truly remarkable. If you watch the show, that my background is in theater, so I'm a big believer in the power of theater to get people to that progress that we're always looking for. And they're doing it at the Shawnee Little Theater with a former teacher, a great former teacher, and an autism mom. We wish them all the best. We're going to take a break, and then we're going to come back with some autism news. Stick with us.
It's every parent's desire for their child to have a great start in life. Yet there is a condition affecting more children's lives than pediatric cancer, diabetes, and AIDS combined. Autism strikes 1 in every 150 children.
Today, 1 in 110 kids in the U.S. will be diagnosed with autism. That is a huge jump from 30 years ago when it was 1 in 30,000.
Startling new report finds the number of children with autism is skyrocketing. The Centers for Disease Control estimates 1 in 68 children has a form of autism. Now that's a 30% increase in just 2 years.
Well, a lot of the children and all the accomplishments over the last 20 years, I'm thrilled.
I think what kept me was the feeling that, I would have a parent come to my office late at night at UCLA and just fall apart. And this is a long time ago, and there were much less back then in terms of services and knowledge and so on. And I would just sit with the family and the parents and walk them through and try to take away some of their fears, and at that point I realized, I think the thing that's actually most important to me is that process. I mean, thank God that I've been very, very lucky and blessed to have so many incredible clinicians join me along the way and just develop CARD in such an amazing, magnificent way. That I could, for me, it was more really about how can I help the families? What can I do for the moms, the dads? It is just, and I feel like, there's no way I would ever really know because I haven't had my own child go through this, but I've experienced it with people a lot of times.
Hi, this is Megan. I'm in 1st grade all by myself. My teachers are so fabulous. I like to read books. I like to go to my friends' birthday parties. I like to invite my friends to my birthday parties. I once had a sleepover with a friend. I like to have play dates with my friend. I'm the best reader in my class. I like to go to the library. I like to read different series of books. And here's how I learned to do all these things. By my card friends and Dr. Grandpichet. Thank you, card friends and Dr. Grandpichet.
Welcome back to Autism Live. We have a lot of news that we're going to be covering tomorrow as part of Let's Talk Autism with Shannon and Nancy. A lot of things that we just want to go into a little bit more in depth, but I do want to bring some of those up now so that you can give you a reference point. Of course, over the break while we were gone here in the state of California, the Assembly passed the second, so now it goes directly to the governor, SB 277 as we know it. There's an AB name for it as well, but basically this is the vaccine law that would get rid of the medical exemption and the personal belief exemption for school-aged children. There have been some things added to the bill. There is a grandfather clause. We're going to be talking about that a little bit more in depth tomorrow. I will tell you, though, that if you are someone who does not care for this bill, there is a growing petition. Over 75,000 people had signed it as of last night that is asking for Governor Brown to not sign this bill and to veto it. You can find that, I believe you can go to the talkanow.org website if you would like to sign that petition. If you don't need to sign that, but we will be talking that a little bit more in depth tomorrow and letting you know what the grandfather clause is. Also, we were very saddened over the break to hear of the passing of a doctor that is known to many and loved by many in the autism community, Dr. Jeff Bradstreet, who passed away. There is a great deal of controversy swirling around his death. We'll be talking about that more in depth tomorrow. I want to give our condolences to the family and to anybody who ever had their child treated by Dr. Bradstreet. He was certainly a much beloved figure in the field of autism. And on a good note, there is news this morning that came out in the Deseret News that Utah Valley University announced plans just yesterday to construct a privately funded facility dedicated to autism on its campus. They have now created an autism initiative. They have already done quite a bit of fundraising, and they want to be a national leader. I find this very exciting. I have a great deal of friends who teach at Utah Valley University. I want to say woohoo, this is very exciting. I can't wait to see what you do. I think that is very high standard to set for yourself to become a national leader, and I think go for it. Truly, truly amazing. We know, those of us who are here in the autism community, that until universities really, and there are many universities who have already stepped up and said, we are going to take responsibility for training the next round of leaders in the autism community, the teachers, the therapists, the people who design the programs. But there aren't enough universities who've taken that initiative. So congratulations to Utah Valley University for saying, we're going to step it up. We have a plan. We're going to create a facility. We want to hear more about it. All right, that's what we have for Autism News. But again, make sure you stay tuned in tomorrow when we cover those two stories more in depth. We're going to take a break and be back with more Autism Live after these messages. Hi, I'm Shannon Penrod, and we're at the ABCs and XYZs of Special Needs Conference. And this year, for the first time, they've got something really remarkable. It's the Entrepreneurial Boutique. These are all items that have been made and are being sold by individuals who have special needs. So we're going to do a little shopping and talk to some of these fabulous entrepreneurs. Come on.
My name is Molly Rarick, and I'm founder of Breed's Gift. We're a nonprofit that serves teens and adults with special needs, like Chase here. We were founded in 2013 and serve people in the Conejo Valley, Santa Barbara, and LA.
Our main objective is to give our participants the skills they need to gain a more independent life.
My name is Shelley Cox, and Lisa Zalagi and I are founders of Creative Steps and Create Micro Business Enterprises. And the items that we're selling here today are all made by the clients who have passions about what they want to make, and then they get the profits from what they make after we've paid all of the other expenses.
We are here today because my goal is to be independent, and also I would like to share all my artwork, and I would like to sell.
Thinking about at his young age being a businessman, it's amazing. I cannot be more proud.
Currently, in the United States, 1 in 88 children is affected by autism. 1 in 88 means something different when your child is the one. Recovery is possible. Hi, I'm Shannon Penrod, host of Autism Live, an online show about autism broadcast by CARD, the Center for Autism and Related Disorders. I'm also the mother of a child with autism. My beautiful son, Jem. You know our old joke, guess what?
Chicken butt.
Chicken butt. So we're gonna take the chickens. But things weren't always so easy. I remember when Jem was first diagnosed with autism. I used to lay awake at night in bed and pray for someone or something that could help us to get our child back. My prayers were answered by Dr. Doreen Graham-Pichet and the Center for Autism and Related Disorders. CARD treats autism and other related disorders using the principles of ABA, Applied Behavior Analysis, which is the only scientifically proven effective treatment for autism. It is also recommended by the American Academy of Pediatrics and the U.S. Surgeon General. About a year after we started treatment with CARD, we were able to see tremendous improvement, and we got our child back.
What grade are you in?
Second.
You are a smart cookie, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Do you like school?
Yeah.
Do you have any good friends?
Yeah, Oscar.
Oscar is your best friend?
Yeah.
And my child is just one of thousands to benefit from CARD ABA therapy. Across the nation and around the world, children are making amazing progress and being given the keys to unlock their full potential.
Recovery from autism is absolutely a possibility. We've been recovering children for over 20 years. It's just a matter of identifying the child's medical needs, understanding the child's sensory issues, and then teaching the child all of the skills they need in order to function normally.
We know there's hope for autism. Autism is treatable and recovery from autism is possible. Welcome back to Autism Live. Since the last time we were with you, we got to go to a really extraordinary event that I like to go to every year. It's known as Stephanie's Day. It happens on the CBS backlot here in Los Angeles, and it is truly a spectacular day. A lot of vendors and performances are there, and it's all in celebration of our kids who have special needs. It's something that the Maldens, I can't think what her name is. That's terrible. Stephanie's parents, Steve, and I think it's Sylvia, but I think that that's wrong. In any case, Stephanie's parents, and we've asked her to be on the show, but I'm having a senior moment. In any case, Stephanie's parents have held this event every year for, I think it's the 5th year here in Los Angeles, and before that they did it in Texas. And Stephanie is the queen of the day. She's so amazing. She goes throughout the entire festival and takes pictures with everyone. She is the sweetest, nicest young woman, gives hugs. One of the things that I particularly love about her is that she's so helpful, and she's always concerned if you've got a bag with, that's on your shoulder, but one of the straps has fallen. She's the first person who will come over and she will fix that strap for you. Truly amazing young woman. It's something that I used to take my son to a long time ago. They always have a fire truck, and they give out free snow cones. So those are the two things that you can absolutely count on. But the other thing you can count on is that anybody who is anybody in the autism community will be there and have a booth and be talking about how they can help each person who's there at the festival. Truly amazing. We were there, Kelby and I went, and we were at the Act Today booth and talking to people. There was one particular part of the day, and this is why I said earlier, our new phrase is "you are not alone." 2 separate moms came up, and they came one after the other. And we had, there were moms all day long, but 2 in particular who came up and said, you know what, I kind of I'm feeling alone and a little bit at the end of my rope. In different ways they were saying that, and they had different circumstances, totally different kids, totally different issues, but both of them came up and expressed that same sort of thing of, I feel alone. I don't know what to do. I don't know where to go. And here is my issue. And again, totally separate issues, but the thing that we said to both of them was, it's okay, you're not alone. And in both cases, both women immediately welled up. We all started crying. Everybody was hugging everybody, because I know firsthand how important it is to be reminded of that none of us is alone, that there are people that I know sometimes it feels like, nobody's paying attention to us. Nobody's taking care of what this community needs, but there are people who are working on it. We're not there yet. We are definitely not there yet, but you are not alone, and people do care, and people are working to help you, and they're thinking about you. Honestly, I know that at this point, I get to be at meetings where very high-level people are talking about programs that they're rolling out, things that they want to do, and I get to hear them say, well, what about that mom in Kansas? What about that Air Force wife after her husband retires? How is she going to get the benefits that she needs? I hear those conversations. They are talking about you. They are trying desperately to get as many things to you that they already know that you need, but you know what? Don't make them guess. Be loud. Tell people what you need. Speak out. People are listening. People are paying attention. And Stephanie's Day is a perfect example of when people are getting together, people are listening. We saw so many wonderful performances done that day by folks who are a part of the Miracle Project. Elaine Hall was there with a lot of the young people from the Miracle Project. Truly amazing performances. The rapper was there. Calby, help me. I'm having a senior moment. Rio. But what is the other name that he goes by? It's Soul Shaka. That's what I couldn't think of. Truly amazing. I think that it's life-changing if you get an opportunity to see him perform and get up and rap. It's just lovely. Talk about giving a voice to autism. He certainly does that. I had an opportunity to meet his parents when we were at the Temple Grandin and Friends. Really wonderful people. Want to make an opportunity for them to come on the show. And we'll show you a video of Rio, because I don't think he could rap in this format, and you really have to see him rapping to understand it. He gets everybody on their feet. But he was there at Stephanie's Day. There were so many wonderful anchors and celebrities from CBS that were there and were signing autographs, and so many wonderful organizations that were giving away lots of free stuff. We love the free stuff. It was a beautiful day. It was hotter than hey nani nani, but it was worth it to be there with all of the wonderful people who were asking great questions. I must say this about Stephanie's Day. Out of all the autism events that I go to, it is the one where I really feel like people get entry. A lot of times you go to other events and there are people who have been in the autism community for a while, and they've gone through step 1 through 10 and they kind of have their feet under them, and now they're looking for some more resources. But Stephanie's Day, you get those people and the people that are coming in on day 1 or don't even have a diagnosis yet, but they come out to be there because they know something might be going on with their kids, and it feels like a safe haven because it's at CBS. It's a little bit intriguing because you get to be on the back lot. You get to walk by, and I didn't go back and see, but somebody was telling me that the My Three Sons house was down there. And the first time that we went on the back lot, Jem was so excited because Timmy Turner's house was there from the Timmy Turner movie. I think that that's enough of an intriguing thing that people want to go there and be that. But what happens is they come for that, and they find a community, they find help, they find hope. And my friends, that is our favorite 4-letter word, hope. Can't say it enough, right? So we want to thank the Maldens. We especially want to thank Stephanie. We want to thank CBS, and we want to thank Act Today for giving us a home at their booth. Truly wonderful event. If you're here next June in Los Angeles, make sure you make your way to Stephanie's Day. Okay, it's time for us to go now to our ongoing documentary, The A Word. This is being made by the Center for Autism and Related Disorders following a little boy, Jack Riley, who was diagnosed with autism at the age of 2. We get to see a window into his family, his growing family, of how they are doing, as we mentioned earlier, DTT, but other aspects of ABA to help this young boy grow and learn. And he does, but it's not always easy. So take a look. This is The A Word.
Put your shirt on.
Oh, really? Whoa, whoa.
Oh, really? Oh, really?
Oh, really?
Oh,
Jessica received an email from the other therapist that Jack Riley has been attempting to bite them, so she's checking in with Mike and Cheryl to see what's going on.
Has he tried to bite you guys?
He got her. He got her.
On Tuesday morning, he bit me good.
Was it just out of...
Oh, it was aggression.
Was there a consequence?
I snapped at him and he cried.
Kind of unexpected too.
Yeah.
And he doesn't bite out of aggression.
Yeah.
He never did that before.
It's this sort of this week. No new.
Yeah, the girls have been telling me like just about every session he's
Yeah, Mary tried to bite her hand because he didn't want to walk.
Yeah.
And so we took him out again yesterday. And it didn't start out well, but I think it ended up okay. Which his reward was if he would walk to the count of 20, he could jump with mommy and daddy. We would have him jump. And that seemed to be enough of a reward for him to try to keep going without going limp or trying to bite.
5 jumps and then take 20 steps.
So would it be okay if we went for a walk about like 9:30?
Sure. No.
Okay, 9:45.
I'm just kidding.
Hey, what's your name? Untitled. And how old are you? 2. When's your birthday? That's Oh, cool. That's soon. Are you worried about the biting?
A little bit. Because I know a lot of our kids do it to get a reaction or to do it just, out of protest that they don't want to do something. I just don't want it to become an issue and become a behavior where he'll generalize it to everybody else, his family, therapists. So far, it doesn't sound like it's been happening a lot. I just wanted to do it today just to see what the antecedent is and why he's doing it. Is it because he wants an extra minute of play, or he doesn't want to, transition from outside inside yet? Just to see what's actually going on.
No,
Stop.
Stay with mommy though.
Nope.
Hold my hand.
Stay with mommy first.
Hold my hand.
No. Settle, dude.
You want to go to count to 20? Should we count to 20? And then you get Little Mermaid, or do you want to play? Okay, count to 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 19, 20! Yay! Come here, we'll walk. Yay! Let's walk. Stand up. Oops. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. The biting.
What do you want?
No.
Hello, tantrum.
Stand up.
What do you want? Tell me. I want. Okay, then let's walk for 20 steps
20
and then
steps,
you can
and then
get
you can
mermaid.
have her.
Okay, let's
Ready?
go.
Usually I just let him go free because he's been in therapy all day. So that's part of he expects to be able to just run.
I would suggest just to get his compliance under control first. You give him an instruction, he complies, you give him his little freedom. Because I know he wants to run around. Give him words to use, like, give me 1 more minute, or, I want more grass.
Yeah. Jack.
What's calling you?
Come here.
Come here. Oh, boy! Yay! There you go!
Good job, buddy.
Now what do you want? You want pancakes?
Mermaid.
Mermaid.
Mermaid. Hey, Jack, here's the mermaid.
She's gonna tickle you. She's gonna kiss you. I don't want him to feel that every time he's out there, he has to have a fight with you guys.
And quite frankly, I had no idea how to combat it the last couple of days. I thought, okay, I'll just pick him up and take him in because I had no idea what to do. And today he had a good time. I think he got out some energy.
Well, if you guys can establish or be consistent about the rules outside, like, when I ask you to come here, you gotta come here.
I mean, if he's just not behaving, if he's not doing anything we ask, is it okay to pick him up and say, okay, we're going in? I don't know what to do. I mean, I get so frustrated. I think, well, the only option I have is, we're going in, and he won't go in with me, so I pick him up. I can't do when he's 10, of course. Now it's like his main
Weapon is just to lay down.
is to just lay down.
My suggestion would be ask him to come here, but just, give him hugs or say what's up, and then have him run again. So that when you finally do give him the instruction, he's not, too upset about it.
Yeah.
Because sometimes when you ask him to come here, he'll put up a fight because he knows that means I gotta go now.
So if every now and then he comes here and just
Gives you a hug, gives you a kiss.
gets to be free, then it won't be such a bad association.
Yes.
It was a nice experience. And, the last couple times have been seriously to where I didn't even want to take him outside again. It was just so traumatic.
Little mermaid.
You want the Little Mermaid?
Little
There
Mermaids?
you go.
Oh, here you go.
Little mermaids.
Here you go.
Yep.
Come sit down.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, go show Suzanne
Oh
Little
my
Mermaid.
goodness, yeah.
Shirt.
Yeah, you are wearing a shirt.
I'll go right back.
You'll be right back.
I'll be
right back.
Okay, that's too funny.
Welcome back to Autism Live. In breaking news, we have been told that Governor Jerry Brown here in the state of California has signed into law SB 277. He did sign that this morning. It is now officially a law here in the state of California. It is highly controversial, and it takes away everything but the medical exemption for vaccines in school-age children. I mentioned that we were going to talk a little bit more in depth tomorrow about the grandfather clause. We will be talking about that more, but with the understanding that this is now going to be the law. I will tell you though, here's the language that we have just been given, that it does allow pupils who prior to January 1st, 2016 have a letter or affidavit on file at a private or public elementary or secondary school, child daycare center, day nursery, nursery school, family daycare home, or developmental center stating beliefs opposed to immunization to continue enrollment until the pupil enrolls in the next grade span as defined. It is defining the grade span, as birth to preschool, kindergarten to grade 6, and grades 7 to 12. So if someone has that on file by January 1st of 2016, it will cover them until the next period of time in which they must enroll and meet those vaccination deadlines. This is going to become very important. It does exempt students enrolled in home-based private schools or in independent study programs that are not classroom-based from the existing immunization requirement. It specifies that a pupil who qualifies for an individualized education program must have access to any special education and related services required by his or her individualized education program. So I don't know how they're going to make sense of that. If your child has a social skills program at school where they're to be interacting with neurotypical kids and you are someone who does not believe in immunization, I don't know how they're going to make peace with that, but they're saying if it's in the IEP, then they've got to do it. It clarifies that a student is exempt from vaccination requirements if a written statement by a licensed physician is obtained to the effect that the physical condition of the child is such or medical circumstances relating to the child are such that immunization is not considered safe, indicating the specific nature and probable duration of the medical condition or circumstances, including but not limited to family medical history, which the physician does not recommend immunization. Very interesting. We'll be talking about this more in depth, but just wanted to let you know that Governor Jerry Brown has signed SB 277. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we have a wonderful guest who's going to join us. It is Robin Hogerhuis, and she is from Everybody Dance Now, so stick with us.
You say howdy, we say hi. Let's get rowdy, let's get wild. 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 Let's get wild.
welcome back to Autism Live. I'm Lisa Ackerman with Taka. My
Hi.
guest here.
I am Jennifer Lucero with Taka.
Taka Mom is here in the house. Jeff saw on a TV commercial, they were making calzones, and he looked at me and goes, Mom, please make me that. Wait a minute, yeah, calzone, you can't have calzone. He goes, well, you make me pizza. Why don't we call it a pizzone? So we're gonna do this ode to Jeff pizzone. So I'm gonna have Jen come on in.
All right.
You're in charge.
Ready.
We're gonna add a little grapeseed oil, garlic, cut up chicken, finely cut up onion, and we're gonna throw a little bit of basil. So we're gonna just take about 5 minutes or so, saute up the chicken and all of the onions together. While Jen is slaving away at the stove, I'm gonna make the pizza crust. A lot of gluten-free choices that you have out there for pizza crust. So I'm gonna go ahead and start with the dry. Again, I'm using eggs. There are a lot of egg replacers on the Taka website. We have about a dozen different ways to replace eggs. So I'm gonna go ahead and add my shortening. Calls for a little extra salt, which I'm gonna put in here. And also add a little pepper. And we also have herbs de Provence that gives the crust a nice Italian flavor. Can't forget the apple cider vinegar, organic stuff ready to go. Yes, I have all my ingredients. We're ready to rock with this mixer. And don't be afraid of dough. Dough doesn't bite. So here's what we'll be working with to make the pizzone. I'm ready to go. Let's get this party started. So what we're gonna do next is roll out the dough. I like to be rolling in the dough, but we're gonna roll out the dough instead. So let's go ahead and get started here with that. So again, you see me using the parchment paper all the time. Love this stuff. It's basically unbleached, ready to go. It's just gonna make life a lot easier on your rolling pin. You don't need to coat it or anything, which is a lot easier, but I swear I should buy that by the gross ton. So the pizzones, this basically makes 2 big pizzones. I'm gonna take half of the dough and roll it out. Half of the other dough will be for the other pizzone that we're gonna make in just a little bit. So you wanna you're not making a pie crust, you're kind of making a long oval shape. So we're gonna try to make a shape where I'm gonna basically roll this over with all the yummy fillings. And so any combination or variation thereof, this sauce, just real simple, is organic crushed tomatoes. I've added a little bit of salt and pepper and herbs de Provence in that as well, which I love. I like extra fresh basil. That's always yummy to have on your pizzone. And thank you, this turned out fantastic. So we're just basically building it the way that we want to eat it. Of course, my favorite rice-free, organic, dairy-free, soy-free cheese. It's gonna pop out the sides.
Okay.
I'm not afraid of popping out the sides. So that's the beauty of the parchment paper. Once you're done, you just flip it over and peel it back. So I'm just taking a fork now and going around the edges. It looks so pretty.
It looks really nice.
So for 400 degrees, we're gonna go for about 25 minutes. You want it golden brown. And because we cooked everything pretty much already, you're not worried about not having everything fully cooked. So look how cute those look.
Looks great.
Like those 4 happy people right there. This weighs a ton. So let's go to the magic oven. Pull out our finished product. And voila!
Good.
Oh my gosh,
looks
this
beautiful.
is so yummy. There's nothing better than a little Jeff Ackerman pizzone. And this is going to be nuclear hot, but we'll go ahead and cut it open so you can. Oh my gosh, this is going to taste so good
That
later
looks
on for
great.
your kids.
Yum.
Feedback, keep it coming. Thank you for helping, Jen.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you for joining us. Come back to Autism Live. We'll keep doing allergy-friendly cooking classes. If you have any suggestions or things that you would like to see us make, bring it on. You can reach us at autismlive@gmail.com or Facebook.
Love the Facebook.
I know, too much for me. Facebook, so facebook.com/autismlive, or thousands of taca recipes ready to go, basically go to tacanow, TACANOW.org. And we'll see you next time.
You say howdy, we say hi. Let's get rowdy, let's get wild. Let's get wild.
Welcome back to Autism Live. I'm so excited because we have joining us a really wonderful mom and a really wonderful professional, Robin Hoger-Heiss. I've been saying your name wrong all morning long, but welcome to Autism Live.
Thank you for having me.
And now we've got it right, Hoger-Heiss.
Yes.
Wonderful. Okay, and you have many different skills, so we're going to talk with you about a bunch of different things. But I want to first start with talking about, because you're an inclusion specialist working with Everybody Dance Now and Everybody Move Now.
Yes.
Okay, talk to us about Everybody Dance Now and Everybody Move Now and what the difference between the two are.
Okay, well, basically, Everybody Dance Now was born when I was speaking with Liana Forsucci. She's one of the owners of CF Dance Academy. And my youngest son, who is on the autism spectrum, but he's very mildly affected, he was in the Little Tiny Tot hip hop. And I had to let her know, he was on the spectrum and might need a couple accommodations here and there. So it kind of got us talking about autism. And then through Fullerton Cares, which is the charity that I'm a board member of, does our Mardi Gras for Autism every year.
Which we love, by the way.
Yeah.
We are huge fans of Fullerton Cares to begin with, and the Mardi Gras. We love that event.
Yeah, they're really amazing. And the most amazing thing to me about Fullerton Cares is they created this climate of awareness in our community. And so CF Dance was getting ready to have a performance at Mardi Gras for Autism, and Miss Leanna, started talking to me about autism, and I began sharing with her that my oldest son, who's very severely affected by his autism and also has mild cerebral palsy, how there were really no performing arts programs for him. And she was shocked at that. She didn't realize that there was a void, and she said, maybe we could get together and you can use your behavior expertise and your autism expertise, combine it with my dance. And, so we did. So we started it, and we started what was just going to be a little 6-week session to see how it went. And we had an amazing demand for it. We ended up filling 2 classes. So we have a level 1 with our smaller kids, and then we have a level 2 that goes all the way up to 20 years old.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And you do have some expertise in the field of autism. Talk to us a little bit about that.
I do. My story is unique in that I was teaching special education for Orange County Department of Ed, and I sort of fell into that by accident or by chance, as people do with special ed. And I absolutely loved it. I called my mother the first day I worked, and I said, "Mom, this is the job I was born to do." And I actually didn't know how correct she was, or how correct I was about that statement. 5 years later, my oldest son was born, and he was born severely affected with autism, by autism. And so I felt really lucky because, I was knee deep in my master's program when he was born. And so as devastating as the diagnosis was, I didn't miss a beat. I was able to just start helping him. And I was always really aware that I was very lucky that I had been prepared for my son. And to care for him. And so I like to reach out to other parents because I understand not everyone the day of their diagnosis already knew what a visual schedule was, and knew what to expect from the various things that come with autism. So I've used my role as a professional to kind of reach out and help other parents in our community and reach out and help kids. So it's been really really nice to just literally be on the professional and the parent end of it.
Wow. And then you just have the 2 children, or do you have more than 2?
I do. No, I have my 2 boys.
Okay. And
yeah.
so now you go through this, and then the second child is born. A lot of us, I only have the one who's on the spectrum, and I was thinking of having another, and I was afraid. I was old enough that it didn't end up happening. But were you afraid when the second one was coming that you were going to have another child with autism?
Yes, I was very prepared for him. And so basically what happened was, before he was even born, I contacted UCLA and the Sigmund Research portion of UCLA that has had an ongoing for almost a decade sibling study, where they study the siblings of children with autism to determine, how, the genetic link, and how, I'm trying to say, determine the genetic link and find out how many siblings end up being affected after an older one is diagnosed. So I had my little one in that program, and my little one had the regressive autism. So every 6 months we would do this very comprehensive eval, and I would get a letter from UCLA stating no signs of autism. And then right at about the 2.5 mark, there was some regressions in his language and some other red flags, and so UCLA was awesome about it. I contacted UCLA. He wasn't scheduled for an eval, but I said, okay, I've noticed these signs. So he had his eval, and sure enough, they determined that it seemed like he had the signs of autism. We immediately went to the pediatrician with that report, and they did a comprehensive eval and determined, yes, he was on the spectrum. So we had a really scary year for him there, but we were just, you know, I had always been working with him anyways in an infant program that I had designed and developed just to target skills along the way for him. And then we stepped that up, and he began getting services, and he began going to preschool, and we did a really, really intensive. And now I'm really happy to report that he's indistinguishable from his peers. He's in a mainstream class. He just completed kindergarten, and he's thriving. He's doing very well socially, and I chalk a lot of that up to the fact, you know, that he's all, you know, we put him in dance when he was 3, and he had. I like dance for our kids and performing arts for our kids, and here's why. You have the social experience of being on a team, being on a dance crew, but it's not like being in a sport where if you're the person that strikes out, you know, you don't get to the base in time, whatever it is, you're not held responsible for bringing the team down. So it's a way that you can progress and measure your progress against yourself while still being a part of a team.
Love it.
That's what I love performing arts for our kids for, and that's, you know, and I remember right around the time of my son's diagnosis watching Autism the musical. And just getting so inspired by what they were doing, you know, because prior to Ian's diagnosis, my oldest son, you know, I had a lot of dreams for him, and performing arts is really important in my family. We go to a lot of concerts and a lot of, you know, just live shows and entertainment. It's what we really, really like, and he always loved music. So my kind of dream for him was to see him up on a stage one day, and, you know, with the diagnosis, I didn't think that was ever going to happen. But like I said, I got inspired by Autism the musical. I talked to Miss Leanna at CF, and she was very open to it, and Everybody Dance Now was born. So
Wonderful.
That was 2 years ago.
All right, we should take a break, but when we come back, I want to talk about how it actually works and what are some of the things that you guys do and some of the accommodations, some of the, you know, the triumphs and some of the ways that it's hard, because if somebody's thinking about sending their child to do a dance class, they want to be prepared. They want to know, what are we looking at? We're going to talk a little bit about that and some work that Robin does with Fullerton Cares, this amazing organization that we just love. So stick with us, more with Robin Hogerheis after these messages. What do you think about ABA treatment?
ABA is the one that's documented, but I think that's what I think is important with little kids, the intensity. If this kid's 2, 3, and 4 years old, he needs 20 or 30 hours a week of intensive early intervention, working one-to-one with an effective teacher. And an effective teacher knows kind of how just hard to push, because you've got to stretch these kids. If you don't stretch them somewhere, they don't advance. You push them on them too hard, they go into sensory shutdown. The worst thing you could do with an autistic 2-year-old is to do nothing with them and just let them sit there rocking. And when I was very young at 2.5, ABA type things were used on me, but it wasn't called ABA in that day. You know, my teacher would hold up a cup and she'd speak slowly. You gotta speak slowly to these kids because there's auditory processing problems. You'd say cup, and then I'd say cup, and the teacher would praise me. You know, that's very similar to ABA. You know, ABA in its you know, original form is a little kids program. The whole idea is you're trying to get language jump-started. And I like the more flexible kinds of ABA. You've got different levels of kids. Once, I mean, I had ABA type stuff when I was young, but then after I pulled out of it, I didn't have to go through elaborate things of getting ready for school. I still have this habit now today. I lay my clothes out the night before that I'm going to wear, so when I'm sleepy I can just get them on. And then you have other individuals where they've got to do very structured, you know, breaking down the task analysis. This is where after you get out of the little kids and you get them talking, they kind of diverge into different levels of functioning. And a type of ABA program that'd be suitable for a very severe kid would not be something you'd want to do with a mild Asperger kid, because you're going to bore them to death and make them hate school.
Absolutely. Welcome back to Autism Live. We're here with an awesome autism mom. Robin Hogerheis is here with us. She is on the board of Fullerton Cares, a charity that we really love here that's making it a huge difference in the Orange County area of California. And Robin has been telling us about when both of her children were diagnosed on the autism spectrum and how that changed things for you. But what I love about your story and what we see so often on this program is that parents see a need for their child, decide to fill it, and take it a step further that helps the entire community. And I think that's really, truly your story. We've been talking a little bit about Everybody Dance Now and Everybody Move Now. What's the difference between the two of those?
Everybody Dance Now is truly a dance class. I worked with Miss Leanna to develop the curriculum, and we started with what was just her basic like level 1 dance program, and then we modified it to accommodate our students with special needs. And that is a dance class, is focused on dance technique. Everybody Move Now is less focused on dance technique, and there's more focus on music and on movement as a way just to get up and get moving, exercise, and also like self-expression.
Wonderful.
So where Everybody Dance Now is a true dance class, it ends in an optional performance, full costumes, big stage, we do it upright. So they have that. Everybody Move Now is more, there's not the performance aspects. So like I said, it's using movement and music to get your body moving, to get you out with friends, to get you expressive and creative. And what's really special about Everybody Move is I have a segment that I call the rock band segment. And we learn a song, we learn to beat to it, we learn how to all clap it out together, and then we learn how to sing the song together. And I've had, like my oldest son, he's not nonverbal, but he is very challenged with regard to his verbalizations. And he was even singing a portion of the song that I selected them to sing. So it was really exciting to see that come together. And like I said, really exciting for me because I'm the professional and I'm the parent as well. So when I'm teaching a class and I see a parent out there with their cell phone video trying to capture it because they've never seen their child in a situation like that where they're singing with friends, laughing, dancing, doing all those things that I think parents of typically developing kids sometimes take for granted. Yeah. But for the parents of the kids in our class when it started 2 years ago, they had never seen their little girl up on a stage in a tutu or you know what I mean, their children interacting in class or following a group, all these things that are really, really important. So it's just like I said, it's been really, really exciting for me to see families that I've watched the kids grow up and families that I've been close to and see the parents so happy and see the kids happy. So they're two really, really great classes, and I have a blast teaching them.
And how clever to have those two, because not everybody is going to want to take the dance class, but certainly all of our kids need to move and feel what it's like to be able to express themselves to music. I love that. We should mention again that these classes are at the CF Dance Academy.
The Everybody Dance Now is at CF Dance Academy in downtown Fullerton, and Everybody Move Now is via CF Dance Academy, but it's delivered at the Fullerton Community Center.
Okay, wonderful. Yeah. And where can people go if they want to know more information?
If they want more information, they can visit cfdance.net.
Okay, cfdance.net. Wonderful. And so tell us a little bit, if I were going to put my child in one of these classes and you're there as the inclusion specialist, how do you get a involved? What does it look like?
For every child. First of all, the biggest, especially for Everybody Dance Now, our biggest thing as far as inclusion is every child gets a peer buddy.
Okay.
So, and I've trained the peer buddies, and they range in age from about 10 years old up into high school, and they're the top dancers at CF, and so they've been selected because, number one, they're amazingly talented, and number two, because they have a helpful spirit. And my peer buddies, I mean, I say this all the time, and I'm not even joking. They could, even my youngest one that's 10 could walk into any special ed classroom and be a very competent paraeducator. I have, like I said, 10 and 12-year-old kids that understand prompt hierarchy. I love it. Yeah, no, it's a beautiful thing. I've had a lot of fun training our peer buddies, and so each child gets a peer buddy, and then I try to assess as we go each student and kind of determine what they need. Some of our students, they're compliant, they're there, they're excited, and so they just need help with regarding shaping their techniques. And then I have children who started out whose entire goal it was just to stay in the area where the other dancers were without getting upset, without crying, without eloping.
Right.
And basically any parent that's ever given it a shot and stuck it out through the whole 6 to 8 weeks, every child we've had has eventually made tremendous progress. But like I said, that progress, and that's what's good about performing arts, that progress is measured against the child.
Right.
So it's all been huge, tremendous progress, but I have one who's made progress because she can do the across the floor leaps. I have another one who's made progress because he stayed on the line during the stretching exercises that he doesn't like, but he was compliant anyway.
It's one size fits all, but it's all good.
It's great.
Progress.
It's progress. It's really, really exciting, but that's where I come in. So I'm not a dance teacher. So Miss Jessica and Miss Leanna do the teaching, the dance technique teaching portion. But I definitely am there to provide behavior support, to train staff, and like I said, to eval the kids and kind of set their goals.
Yeah.
And then I monitor each child's progress.
Now, you mentioned during the break that the progress of this has been such that many of the kids have graduated from this special class into the completely neurotypical class.
It's been really, really exciting to watch that. I sat with Miss Leanna and we talked about it and counted it up, and we have about 8 students who are also in the mainstream, everything from tiny tot to level 3 hip hop because of the age range. That's been really exciting because yes, at the break we were talking, schools don't get it, and and they're supposed to, and that is the eventual goal for all of our kiddos, as it should be, to be in the least restrictive environment. So, and it's really, really nice. And the cool thing about our classes, it's really fun. So a lot of some of our kids that have mainstreamed into the neurotypical dance program still participate in our dance program because it's a lot of fun.
I love that. Well, I want to know, you have plans, you need to write a book about, at the very least, how you trained your peer mentors. Robin,
I do.
We need the book.
You know what? I am very willing to write a book, and I think about that all the time because I really do feel like I have a lot to share and a unique experience. And I just feel like
if you can get a 10-year-old to understand a prompt hierarchy, we need you to write a book, madam.
I definitely will. I definitely will.
You heard her. She just said she would, and I'm going to hold her to that. I'm going to hunt you down and make sure you write that book.
Well, I'm excited.
Because paraeducators need that. If you can explain that to a 10-year-old, for them to be able to do that, then the world needs you to write that down.
And I will. And I think, before I write it down, I think the best advice I can give anyone, and kind of because I also, what I do through Fullerton Cares too is consulting with businesses that want to be open. So not necessarily running the entire program, but definitely consulting. And when I consult with businesses that want to make their business, sensory friendly, or they want to accommodate people on the autism spectrum, I say the fact that you're open to it and open-minded, and you're approaching our individuals with a loving, open mind and open heart, that's at least half the battle.
I agree. What she said. All right, we're going to take one more break, and then we're going to come back and talk about the work that Robin does with Fullerton Cares and this amazing organization. I'm telling you, they have set the standard high in Fullerton. If you want to see a community who's doing it right, that is the place to look at. Fullerton Cares is getting it done, and Robin's a part of that, so stick with us.
Hi, welcome to Camp Discovery, a free-to-play suite of fun, interactive learning games for kids 2 and up, designed by experts in autism. Camp Discovery will open your early learner to a world of new skills, shapes, numbers, colors, locations, emotions, and more. Let's get started.
Please choose a level.
Objects. First, Camp Discovery's Intelligent Preference Assessment determines your child's preferred reward for choosing correctly. Okay, got it. Let's play. Camp Discovery creates a motivating learning environment for your child by minimizing incorrect responses and maximizing successful ones.
Find the shoes.
Respond correctly and your child is rewarded with their favorite animations.
You did it.
Respond incorrectly and our unique prompting system guides your child to the correct answer by making it the largest choice.
That's not it. Try again. Way to go.
Continue to answer correctly and the size gradually reduces until the child makes the correct choice independently.
You win.
Success! Rewards motivate learning. Complete a round and your child is rewarded with a fun mini-game.
track your child's progress with easy-to-read graphs. Multiple settings options allow you to customize Camp Discovery to your child's unique needs. All this in one single app, the Camp Discovery app, available for free on iTunes, Google Play, and Amazon Store.
Welcome back to Autism Live. We are here with fabulous autism mom, Robin Hogerheis, and she is an inclusion specialist working with Everybody Dance Now and Everybody Move Now, but she's also on the board of Fullerton Cares, an amazing organization that we feature from time to time on the show because I say it over and over. I'm a huge fan. Fullerton is getting it done and getting it done right. And I feel that that is in large part, if not complete part, to Fullerton Cares. It's an amazing organization. You're on the board. Talk to us about your experience with Fullerton Cares, how you came to it and how you experience it.
Well, basically, I came to Fullerton Cares through the Mardi Gras for Autism. I said I need to meet the man that decided to do this and pulled it off, quite frankly. And I met Larry and we spoke, and then we found out our kids did go to the same school for one point, but my son is a little bit older than his son.
And of course, we're talking about Larry Hauser, who has been on the show many times before. We're a huge fan of Larry, and amazing gentleman, but he's the first person to say, oh, but I have so many people in my community. But he, he's a visionary. He said,
Yes.
I'm going to get this done and started Fullerton Cares, not by himself. He's always the first person to say that, but truly a great guy.
He is. He's a really special person. So we just started talking. I wanted to be involved, so I was involved here and there. And when it came to doing Everybody Dance Now, I shared that with him. And he said, I'd like to give you a place on the board. Which I was really, really excited about. And so we came up with community program director. And basically, my main role on the board of Fullerton Cares is if there's a business, everything from, if we have hairstylists that want to learn to give sensory-friendly haircuts, all the way to, if there's a, dance school, art class, whatever kind of extracurricular thing there is for kids, I can basically go in, train the staff, modify their curriculum for them, basically show them how to accommodate kids on the spectrum. And then I serve as a consultant, check back with them, basically monitor the program, monitor the success and the success of the kiddos. So the first program that I did that was outside of Everybody Dance Now and outside of Fullerton was OCE Kickboxing and Mixed Martial Arts from Irvine came to CF Dance. Looking to talk to Miss Leanna and I about starting mixed martial arts class for kids on the spectrum. And so I went and met their staff, and I absolutely fell in love with them. Just seriously, the individuals, they're just kind-hearted, open, really wanting to share MMA with the special needs community. And MMA, again, is a lot like dance because you're with the team, you have your crew of people, but your success and your progress measures against yourself. Right. So you aren't letting a team down if you do something incorrectly, but so it allows each child to learn individually. And their program is fantastic. And they actually have some scholarship opportunities as well.
Wonderful.
And they basically, they're modeled themselves after Everybody Dance Now. So they have a peer buddy component just like we do. It's the same thing. They picked some of the top kids just from their neurotypical mixed martial arts classes that come in. I trained them.
And I'm guessing those kids feel like it's an honor.
They do,
that
right?
They've been picked. That they're fabulous.
Exactly. Yes, and it's the same thing with Everybody Dance Now. Our peer buddies have all been hand selected, knowing that that they're good, kind, responsible kids, and that's been amazing too because I'm always very quick and rightfully so to express my gratitude to the peer buddies and their parents. But the peer buddies are so excited to be there and support. And so it's been really awesome to see our peer buddies grow as mentors.
Yeah.
That's been unexpected for me and really, really exciting. So in addition to the kids in my class that I teach, I care very much for and love our peer buddies with all my heart. I would not be the same without them. And
Well,
I know the
sure.
peer buddies at MMA are the same.
I'm sure that the parents of these peer buddies too are grateful because it gives their child a chance to excel and to gain new skills and to have that self-esteem built up for something that they're doing that's good. We're always looking for ways to reward kids for being good. I'm sure that for those kids, if part of what they're being told is, you were handpicked because you're kind and because you're responsible, that just helps those kids to maintain those qualities at a time when other kids are saying, oh, let's do this bad thing. It, helps them, I just think it's amazing what you're doing on all fronts. But back to the different programs that Fullerton Cares does. So the MMA, you guys are involved in so many different things. What's the next thing that you're looking to do?
I would just like to keep expanding our programs. I just want to put myself out there and let any businesses in the community that are looking for consultation, looking to start up programs like this, it's definitely doable. Like I said, the most important thing is that you have an open mind and an open heart, and the rest comes later with a little bit of training. So, we just want to put ourselves out there. I can pretty much, one of my specializations is modifying curriculum. So I can literally take any curriculum. You have an art class, you have a baseball team, you have anything like that, I can go ahead and go in, modify the curriculum, train the staff.
We should mention, I know one of the things that we got excited about you coming on because you were very involved in the sensory garden that they built in Fullerton. You were part of that, were you not?
I was, yeah. I wasn't instrumental in it, but I definitely participated in that. And I think that the sensory garden is just one drop in the bucket example for what Fullerton Cares is going around doing for our schools. And I think it's so important because I think that that's nice to have the modified space of the sensory garden for our kids on the spectrum at school. Because if you have to think about being on the spectrum, I often compare it to being from another planet. Everything is different for our kids. It can be different, it can be scary. They're experiencing their senses in a way that's different from neurotypical people. And so to have something like a sensory garden that can really just, can be their little sanctuary, when everything can be so chaotic. I just think something like that's important.
When we're looking at schools where they think the answer when a child is in a meltdown to put them in a scream room, right? Versus a school that says we're going to take time and resources to make a sensory garden where a child can have a moment and have a calming down. The difference in those two philosophies of how we're looking at autism, it really sets a tone. And it should be said that Fullerton Cares puts their money where their mouth is by supporting these things financially. I saw in the literature that we were given that, because when I started thinking about, okay, you're paying for an inclusion specialist to be part of a dance program, and we've got mentors, and how is this getting funded? And yet there's no additional cost for a parent to take a class other than it would have been for the neurotypical kids.
Right. At OC Kickboxing, MMA, like I said, there's many scholarship opportunities available. Those kids are actually mostly getting everything for free.
Isn't that amazing?
Yes.
And that's from Fullerton Cares.
No, their scholarship is funded someplace different. Yeah, no.
Okay.
So me being the consultant is from Fullerton Cares there. And then Everybody Dance now actually just shows how much Liana Forsucci, the owner of CF Dance, does community outreach, because actually the peer buddies that volunteer, they get work study credits for being a part of our program, and our kids in our class don't pay any additional. And Miss Liana works to keep the cost of our kiddos' costumes down lower than the neurotypical kids experience. So it just shows that when a charity like Fullerton Cares really gets into the community and creates, like I said, Fullerton's amazing. There's just this culture and climate of awareness. And so Fullerton Cares created that, and then awesome people like Miss Liana or the people at OC Kickboxing come in and
people like
because
you.
they're aware. Thank you. Because they're aware, and then they do something about it and they give back. So it's just been one giant love fest, frankly.
Yeah.
All of us feeding off of each other.
Wonderful.
It's been really nice. And another part of Everybody Dance Now and OC Kickboxing that has been amazing, and also something I didn't think about right away, was it's connected the parents. And it's been really, really nice because it's connected the children socially, it's connected the parents. Parents have parent support, and I mean, nothing makes me happier when I'm scrolling through Facebook to see a group of my dance moms out at a ladies' night, because they need that. We all need that, and so the parents are supporting each other. I have other students' parents tell me, oh, their birthday party was full this year, and sometimes only 2 kids come.
Yeah.
Now they have this huge peer group of their friends that are coming to birthday parties. They're doing play dates. It's amazing. Yeah, it's amazing. So it's just like everybody's connected, everyone's social, and so it's just like I said, it's from the kids in the class to the parents to the peer buddies. Everybody has made this marked, measurable progress.
It just snowballs and snowballs. I also want to say, since we're coming up on the 4th of July, that I saw on Facebook that Fullerton Cares has a fireworks booth.
We do. Come and buy fireworks from us. It'll be amazing.
And so where is the firework booth?
The fireworks stand is on Harbor and Imperial.
Okay.
In Fullerton. It's next. It's in front of the old Mervyn's parking lot.
I'm so not.
So if you're
familiar
from
with that
Fullerton,
area
you know what I mean by the old Mervyn's parking lot. But it's at Harbor and Imperial. You can't miss it.
So if you're buying fireworks, you must buy them from Fullerton. In Orange County, you must buy them from Fullerton Cares. And I saw there was the post on Facebook about it's all manned by volunteers.
It is.
That I thought that sounded like fun. But what really caught my eye was what that money goes to. That I don't know whether this is true, but I saw it on Facebook that last year Fullerton Cares was able to give every single classroom in the Fullerton School District $1,000
just from the fireworks stand. So it's not like the only money the school districts are seeing is that $1,000 a year. Like that was $1,000 from the fireworks stand. In addition to everything Fullerton Cares does for our schools.
Okay, now seriously, I want everybody to stop and think for a moment how much $1,000 in your kid's classroom, how much of a difference that would make. How many times in the last year did you think, well, if we just had this, if we just had that, what if, and what if that were coming from an organization that is, Fullerton Cares helps more than just autism, we should say that, but an organization that clearly has an autism component that is strong in it. When your school district goes, oh, we got that much money from this autism organization, I just think it sets a tone that is much more amenable to learning and growing. I think you people are doing it right.
Thank you. I'm really, really fortunate to be a part of all of it. It's where I live.
Well, and I think likewise they're fortunate that you came to an event and said, hey, I want to be a part of this. So if you're in Fullerton and you want to be a part of things, step up. But for all of you who don't live in Fullerton, and I don't live in Fullerton, I think it really sends a message to us of what can happen and what happens when one person stands up and says, I think this is important, I'm going to put action to it, and then other people go, yes, I like what you're doing, I want to come and be a part of that too. Because that's what I see in Fullerton.
Yeah, it's definitely awesome. We all support each other. That's why we're Fullerton Cares. We really do care.
Yeah.
We really do care about each other.
So Fullerton Cares, the website for Fullerton Cares, I know you guys are on Facebook, Fullerton Cares, but I don't know what the website is. Is it fullertoncares.com or .org? .org. I think it is .org. Check that out. I know that you guys also have a big comedy show that's coming up.
Our comedy show for autism is a lot of fun. Yes. We've had a blast, and I'm really looking forward to it this year.
We already have some of the comics booked to come on the show to talk about it. We had some on last year. It was a room full of comedy in here in our very small studio, and we have that coming up at the end of July as well, that we're going to have some of the comics on. But you guys do an amazing job, many, many different things. But for now, if you're in the area, you've got to check out either the kickboxing or Everybody Dance Now, Everybody Move Now.
Yeah, Everybody Move Now. A new session of Everybody Move Now starts at the Fullerton Community Center on Monday the 6th at 6 p.m.
Okay.
And a new session of Everybody Dance Now starts Friday, July 10th at 5 p.m. for level 1, which is basically about 7 years old and under, and 7 to 22 for level 2.
And for all of you who write me and say, if I'm thinking about moving to California, where should I move? Go to Fullerton.
Fullerton, most definitely.
I'm telling you, it's the place to be, and it's beautiful.
It is. I can't say enough good things. It's a really cool town.
Lovely college town, close to Disneyland.
Lots of culture and cool music.
Yes,
and
lovely restaurants, including the Bourbon Street Bar and Grill.
Amazing.
So go to Fullerton and become a part of Fullerton Cares. Thank you so much. I know you
Thanks
drove
for
quite a ways to get here this morning.
It was absolutely worth it. I had a blast.
Well, we have to have you come back. And we didn't even mention you are a huge Kiss fan.
Yes, I am.
I said, the part of what we were going to be talking about this week is having a passion to continue learning. And I said it's important to have a passion about anything. I always like to look at people, whenever I was looking at therapists for my son, I would ask them, what are they passionate about? Because if somebody's passionate about something, that passion translates into other things. So I understand you're passionate about Kiss.
I am. I'm passionate about music in general. Okay. I really love rock and roll and classic country, but Kiss, I'm born in 1975. So Kiss just was always on TV, and it's sort of the first kind of memory I have of watching TV and just pop culture as a kid, and I loved it. The makeup and the fire and the rock and roll, I couldn't get enough.
And have you gotten to meet any of them?
I have. I have gotten to meet Gene Simmons and Paul Stanley several times. I have some cool pictures with them and a lot of awesome memories.
Well, I'm glad. I'm glad that you have those other things to be passionate about too, because it's all good. Thank you so much for being here. You're an awesome autism mom.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to take a break, and then we're going to be back with more Autism Live. Stick with us.
What would you do if your child was hurting?
If your family's future was uncertain?
If help seemed out of reach?
Have you been given no hope?
Taka means I am not alone in this.
This is the reality for families affected by autism. And today, the number of children with autism is growing more rapidly than ever. Taka unites these families and ensures that they do not have to fight this battle alone.
Our oldest son, Jared, who has autism, when we first took him to the doctor to get the diagnosis, it's so sad because they offer you nothing. There's no help, there's no hope. One of the things that you learn with autism is being very grateful for even the small milestones. When you first get the diagnosis, you go through all the range of emotions. This can't be happening. Why is this happening? You have to get to a point where it's the emotion that has to be leading is, what can I do? The first thing that struck me was walking to a room and seeing, oh my gosh, we're not alone. And there is this very strong community that's already set. And something I still today associate with Taka the most is hope. To me, that's what Taka means. Taka means hope.
It's like you've got all these dreams and goals of what your son's going to do, and you get your diagnosis and you're sent home. And that's it. There's no plan of action. There's no, here's autism, here's what we're going to do to make your life better and help him. It's strictly go home and try to process it and go on the internet. It was devastating, and you just, you go through this 3-week of depression, and then you snap out of it. You have to. And then you start making phone calls and trying to figure out what is autism and what are we going to do. And then we found Taka, and it was life-changing.
Autism, there really is no definitive answer. It is trying to find the resources that are out there that can assist you to help your child so that, you just don't feel so helpless at those particular moments.
There was direction, and there was hope, and there was a little ray of sunshine that he's going to be okay, and we're going to be okay. I always look back and think we would never be where we are. Carson wouldn't be where he is at without Taka.
So 13 years ago, my son was diagnosed with autism, and that put our whole family into a tailspin. There were so many different ideas and things that were not proven. Nobody knew what guidance to give us. We had no direction. And then we found Taka. They helped give us a path to follow, help give our son a better future and make him healthy and put him back onto the road of recovery. When your son's first diagnosed, the first thing you hope for is, gosh, I just want my son to speak. I just want to be able to communicate with him in some way. Then you want a little more. You want him to go to a regular school. Then you want him to potentially have a real life and go to college. So you're always hoping for the future of your child. My son is a happy, healthy, vibrant young boy that's going to turn 15 really soon. And we couldn't be more pleased, and without Taka, I don't think we'd be in the place that we are today. We believe the future is not defined for many affected by autism. There is hope and direction for these kids and their families. Taka is dedicated to providing community, support, education, and hope to families affected by autism.
At Taka.
At Taka.
At Taka,
we are families with autism helping.
Helping.
Helping families.
Helping families with autism.
Hi, my name is Matt. I am 19 years old, and I was diagnosed with autism when I was 6 years old. Autism is one of the fastest growing developmental disabilities in the United States, but I am living proof that with the right treatment, hope is possible. My future is not limited. Today, I am attending Fullerton Community College, and I run for the cross-country team for fun with my friends. It makes me feel proud when I think about my progress. Chances are you know someone affected by autism. Show them they are not alone, and help others get on the road to recovery. Contribute to Talk About Curing Autism today.
Welcome back to Autism Live. I don't know about the rest of you, but I'm having a really good time today. Two amazing autism moms that are giving back to their communities in amazing ways. I'm thrilled. Now, I did want to take a couple of seconds to talk about some of the things that came in over the live feature while we were away. We had a question, a question that came in from Ethiopia. I want you to know that I have seen your question, and I am going to be contacting you. I would tell you it's better if you send me a Skype contact than a phone number when we're talking internationally, but I will see what I can do. Also wanted to give a shout out to the folks from the Autism Love and Autism Conference. The Bride has written into us. They're having a conference in September. It's the 26th of September in San Diego, and we are planning on being there. Autism Live, we're suiting up, we're going. Dr. Temple Grandin is going to be giving the champagne toast. Dr. Stephen Shore is going to be performing at the ceremony. Alex Plank is the groomsman, and Michael Tolleson is going to be painting at the event. I mean, it's just a star-studded autism event, and two people who are on the autism spectrum are going to get married. That's what this whole event is about. But the Bride has written in and said that they want to be on the show. We are going to be talking about the conference, but we will absolutely have the bride and groom on the show as well. We've already booked some of the other people from the conference that are going to be with us week after next on Let's Talk Autism with Shannon and Nancy. But Bride, we will absolutely have you and your groom on the show. Are you kidding me? We'd love to have you on. So I will be in contact with you. I will also tell you too that Michael, who I mentioned, Michael Tolleson, is a savant painter. And he refers to himself as a savant painter, but truly that is what he is. Michael is a gentleman who is in his early 50s, was not diagnosed with autism until just a few years ago, was diagnosed with Asperger's, and shortly after that picked up a paintbrush and discovered that he makes miracles on canvas, truly. We're excited that he's going to be with us via Skype tomorrow on Let's Talk Autism with Shannon and Nancy. If you watched the show after we did Temple Grandin and Friends, and I came back and I talked about this amazing thing, they had a singer on stage who was performing, and Michael came out in 15 minutes with 5 paintbrushes and just dipping them into the paint and going like this, created this amazing work of art. a beautiful horse that was running, truly wonderful. So that's Michael. Michael is going to be with us tomorrow, and he is going to be talking with us about his late diagnosis, about discovering in his early 50s that he is a savant painter and what that has meant to him and how it's changed his life. So we're thrilled that he's going to be our special guest on Let's Talk Autism with Shannon and Nancy. Also tomorrow, don't forget that we have Dr. Doreen Grampiche. She's going to be with us answering your questions live. I have some questions, but I'll be honest with you, I've got some room for more questions. So if you are writing those in, write them in right now. I'll put those questions together tonight. But again, to our friend in Ethiopia, I'm going to be back in contact with you. Want to tell you, too, that on Thursday, we've got some amazing guests that are going to be with us. Matt Asner is going to be with us. We've got a wonderful guest who's got a new resource, a bookstore that's truly amazing that you're going to want to hear more about. And Dr. Martha Herbert is scheduled to be with us. She is the author of The Autism Revolution. If you have ever said, I think there's a piece to this that I might be missing in terms of my child's health, their immune system, and their gut, in conjunction with the things that I'm doing for ABA, I'm telling you, you're not going to want to miss a very special interview with Dr. Martha Herbert. We have done a taped interview with her before, but this is the first time that we'll have her live via Skype, and that is on Thursday. Also have to give you a program note that one of the reasons why we're having Matt Asner on the show on Thursday is to help promote a new show that's happening here on our expanding Autism Live network that will be on Monday, July 6th, the maiden voyage of our new show On the Spectrum with Matt Asner. At least a portion of that show, he's going to have his wonderful wife, Nava Paskowitz, on with him talking about love, relationships, blended families, and autism. We do refer to them as the Autism Brady Bunch. 6 children, 3 on the spectrum. Truly amazing family. And Matt has some other really, really amazing guests. I can't give anything away. I've promised that I will let him unveil, but it's going to blow your doors off. So you're going to want to watch on Thursday to hear who Matt's going to have on his show on Monday. But don't forget, after this long 3-day weekend, on Mondays at noon Eastern time, which is 9 a.m. Pacific time, On the Spectrum with Matt Asner. This is being done in conjunction with Autism Speaks. Part of our ongoing, we're doing a show now with Taka, and we're also doing a show with Autism Society of America and one with Autism Care and Treatment Today. We're building our library. We're doing this together, right? We're out of time, but I want to remind you again, ask Dr. Doreen, send your questions in tonight, and then we will have Let's Talk Autism with Shannon and Nancy, very special guest, savant painter Michael Tolleson. Really thrilling. We're out of time. I'll be back tomorrow. Until then, give your kiddos a hug from me. Bye-bye for now. And one for you too. Bye-bye.